Yes. Vomit all over him. Actually commit an act of violence. You're so clingy today. I'm not gonna talk about the book today. This guy's gonna talk about the book today. Yeah, you have some very strong opinions, don't you? They're not as strong as mine. Good evening, once again. Hi, buddy. We're gonna be joined by this guy. I tried to get him to go sit somewhere else. He's not having it. He's a little obsessed with me today. I'm not sure why. As you can see, I cannot be bothered with my appearance today. Did I say good evening? Yeah, good evening. Or whatever time it is. It's not evening for me right now, but when you're a degenerate, time tends to get away from you. So it feels a lot later for me right now than it actually is. But we're gonna enjoy this nice breeze and this kitty. And we're also gonna talk some more shit about this book that I have been thoroughly enjoying. Okay. This is just my life now. Make up your mind! What do you want from me? The window is open! You can go sit in the window! Don't look at me like that! You can sit here! Okay. Apologies for the shaky camera work. My cat is aggressively rubbing his body on my apparatus. I don't know what he wants. I have spent copious amounts of time petting you today. Oh my gosh. So desperate for attention. What are we up to today, ladies and gentlemen? What are we up to today? I guess I'm not gonna get any reading done, because you're staring me down, dog. Cat. You're a cat. Oh, I'm so sorry. Man, you really are gonna make me get better at... Dude, oh my gosh. Can you not do that? This guy. Do you guys need a recap? I need a recap. Welcome back to the reaping. Evisceration? Did we decide? Whatever. He found one of my hair ties, and he's tossing it around now. Maybe that will sufficiently occupy him. I for sure thought I read further along than this. I'm only on chapter 13. Oh, it's such a long way to go till chapter 55. Joy. I believe so far our main character Selena has been rescued from a prison by two handsome young men. She has been forcibly entered into a battle of the best assassin, but it was also forcibly by her choice. She could have stayed in prison. So anyway, she's completed her first day of training? Or is in the process? I guess I'll find out when I start reading again. Oh my gosh, this hat is gonna upset me, isn't it? I can't not wear a hat. Hats are my fashion security blanket. I did not make it tight enough. I used a different shampoo and conditioner today than I usually do, and so my hair is here. Oh, he's coming back. He still has my hair tie. We join our glorious assassin Selena at lunchtime, which, is it lunchtime right now? I just ate lunch. It's lunchtime. It feels later than lunchtime. It feels like dinner and nap time, but without further ado, back to Selena. See? It's lunchtime. Selena's hungry, but that's an understatement. She's probably starving and would like to eat a whole cow. Oh. As usual, the captain of the guard can't leave her alone for 5 seconds. She's wasting his time, but he always has to come find her for some reason or another. So he interrupts her shoveling meat and bread down her throat like a heathen, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" He takes a seat at the table in his freshly washed body and clothing. We're complaining about salmon. Oh my. What? No! He pulled a platter of salmon toward him and piled it on his plate. Selena made a disgusted face, her nose crinkling. "You don't care for salmon? I hate fish. I'd rather die than eat it." "That's surprising," he said, taking a bite. "Why?" "Because you smell like one." A woman wrote this! Oh! Someone slap this man. You can't do that. You can't do... I can't. I'm trying to read more, and I'm just stuck on the fact that he told her she smells like a fish. What? A woman wrote this book! A woman wrote a man telling a woman she smells like salmon. You can't do that. On what planet was that a good idea? Hopefully you'll take a bath before I see you again. This banter is so ridiculous. This whole scene was just her eating, him coming in to make fun of her relentlessly, and her trying to make fun of him back or fight back, and it just is, it's so forced. This guy, she's a chore for him, but a chore that he continuously seeks out. You're wasting my time. Yeah, right, buddy. Oh, now she's deciding to do some exercises. So when errand boy Kayal comes back to get her, she's doing chin-ups on the wooden beam of her bedroom doorway. Took her long enough, though she might pretend to be in the middle of the pack. There was no reason to train like it. Girl, you should have been training already. Your priorities are all twisted. Even if every repetition made her body scream for her to stop. She wasn't that out of shape. How do you contradict yourself so often? Every repetition made her body scream for her to stop. She wasn't that out of shape. Didn't she just get done puking because she ran too much in the middle of the pack? She didn't even win the invisible race they were having, and she's not that out of shape. Girl, I don't think I've ever run so hard that I threw up. That's just me, though. I'm not Selena. I'm not assassin extraordinaire. I love when stuff doesn't work when I need it to work. That's my favorite. Super great. I was recording and it stopped because I ran out of space. Who would have thought that you can't record hours of footage of you just reading and blabbing and complaining and have all the space in the world for it? Who'd have thought? But we're back. Hopefully I remember what I was doing. My hat doesn't remember what it's doing. My fashion security blanket that will not cooperate. Oh, look. Beautiful. Pardon me. Okay, where was I before I was so rudely interrupted? Oh yeah, she's doing chin-ups, and Kayal smiles back at her. Oh my gosh. Enemies to lovers. Or maybe they'll just stay enemies. I guess they're not really enemies, they're just children. So it starts raining later, and Kayal permits Selena to walk around the castle with him. I guess she is still technically kind of like on probation, so fine. But I really don't think permitted was the right word here. I really think that they both wanted it. There was no permitting. It was definitely mutual. This is being misrepresented. Oh, here we go. Yet another lengthy description of clothing. Perfect. We have had one fight scene so far, and it wasn't even that violent. Funny. It was funny. My thirst for violence is not being satiated yet. And the sad thing is, I don't remember if it ever will be. Aha. So they're walking around, they're having their little rainy Sunday afternoon hangout sesh. Because that's what it is. That's what we're going to call it. Because what else would it be? And they collide with that one lady. No, it wasn't the one lady. Oh yeah, so Selena's out of her rooms and she's dressed in one of her new gowns because that's what's really important here. The clothing, the drips. You can't be a proper assassin without the drips, right? Oh, let's see if I remember how to pronounce this word. Eelway. I'm gonna check. I gotta fact check myself. Is it a fact or is it just Eelway! I said it right! I will remember that from now on. It's an Eelway woman, not the other lady. Okay? Alright. Her loose white dress contrasted with her creamy brown skin, and a three-plated gold torque covered much of her chest and neck. Braces of ivory and gold glimmered around her wrists, and her feet were sandaled beneath matching anklets. A thin circlet comprising dangling gold and jewels crowned her head. She had 2 male guards with her. Oh, it's always gotta be 2. It's always gotta be 2. Armed to the teeth, with an assortment of curved eelway daggers and swords, both of them studying Kayal and Selena closely, weighing the threat. The eelway girl was a princess. Why do you have to tell me that? Can't you reveal it through, like, the craft. She could have been a hooker, like a high price one, but still, like, don't just tell me, show me. Oh wait, that other lady is there. Wait, who the heck is Caltaine again? I forgot. Is that a lady? I guess I'll find out. So there are two people. Okay. Okay. Alright. Oh, yeah, okay, that's right. Yes, Caltaine, the one lady who doesn't like this princess. How do you say this name? I'm gonna venture a good guess. Nehemia. Okay, I know it's... No, I don't know. Yetger? Why'd I put an accent on it? Spelled Y-T-G-E-R. Pardon my phone. I mean, it could be Whiteger. Okay, nope, we're done. We're done with this name. Okay, princess. Cool. It looks like probably Selena and this Princess Nehemia are gonna be friends. They have a lot to relate. They have a lot in common. They both like to walk around in the company of two important dudes who are probably extravagantly handsome, and they're also both obsessed with the drips. Well, at least that's what I'm gleaning from this description of this princess. Drips are important. Oh, and Selena gets to flex her amazing assassin muscle and speak a language that no one thinks she can speak. And well, not everyone. Nehemia and her guards are like, oh? She's speaking the English real good. Sorry, the eel way. My bad. Wrong language. Oh my gosh. No, Caltaine is not a woman. Why can't I remember who Caltaine is? This is not reassuring. Nehemia doesn't like Caltaine and calls him a sweating worm of a man. Oh, alright. Do worms sweat? Hey Google, do worms sweat?
Sorry, I don't understand.
I thought I was about to get a lesson on something I didn't want to know anything about. Google is useless. Useless! They keep talking in eel way, and Caltaine starts to feel left out, and he's like, I'm afraid I haven't understood a word you've said. And Selena's like, this guy. Ugh. Oh my gosh, it is a woman! What on earth is going on with my brain? Oh, wait, I'm confused. Okay, if Caltaine is that one lady, who's the sweating worm of a man? Am I just stupid? Don't answer that question. I already know the answer. It's yes. Okay, Caltaine is a woman. Yeah, oh, yeah, I'm just, like I said, when you act like a degenerate. I'm not a degenerate. I'm just doing my due. Reading my book. Oh, the sweating worm of a man was the councilman. Okay. That makes more sense. Duke Parrington? Was that the sweaty guy? That just, I mean, Parrington sounds like the name of a guy who sweats like a worm. Also sounds like it would be the name of, like, a dentist or a lawyer. Yeah. Okay, so Selena's trying to talk to Nehemia in their shared language of Eelway that Caltaine doesn't know, and Caltaine is, well, I guess, Caltaine and Selena are just both kind of being fat bitches to each other, and Selena again contemplates violence but doesn't do it. I'm going to rip your hair out. Then do it. What is she gonna do? Stop you? What are you afraid of? You could beat her in a fight as long as she doesn't trip you. Yeah, see, Selena and Nehemia are gonna be like besties because they both hate Caltaine for some reason. What did Caltaine even do? Is she just like a hoity-toity court bitch? Why don't I remember? Probably because I was too distracted by the descriptions of what she was wearing. See, that's a problem. Can you just let me decide what they're wearing in my head and you make them like good characters instead of people that I forget almost every single thing about? Oh, okay. You're dismissed, Selena said to Caltaine. The princess tires of your company. I think the princess could, like, say that herself, though. What do I know? I'm not a princess. Okay. The princess asks if all royal women are like Caltaine, and Selena says, unfortunately. What does Selena know? What does she know? I mean, we really don't know a whole lot about her at this point in the story, other than she is the most renowned assassin of her generation who can do anything that she needs to do in the moment, like speak a foreign language that we didn't know she could speak until now. Right. So, you know, maybe she does know what royal women are like, unless she just has gotten the full Monty while she's been in this castle for, what has it been, like 2 days? Have they been in this castle for like 2 days and she's already like, oh yeah, those royal bitches, they're fucked up. I mean, I guess it doesn't take that long to decide if someone's a bitch or not. This is horrible. Okay, we're done. Oh, yeah, see, so we find out why the princess is here. She's here to learn the language and customs. So, of course, she happened to bump into the right girl, Selena, who probably knows everything already. She has absorbed most of it via osmosis in the 2 days she's been in this hellhole. even though she really should be doing more push-ups than anything else, but that's just my humble opinion. Oh, see, okay, girls are crazy. Oops. So she's gonna be here until her father sends for her again, which is convenient because that could be any length of time. We could be talking about a couple weeks, which, as I've established, is probably not enough time to learn anything meaningful. Or it could be, you know, like 2 years. So, of course, Selena's like, bestie identified. You can just see the cogs in her head turning in this part. Because then, also, the princess is like, I will be here. Oh, shoot. This is what I get for, like, jumping around in the reading because of who I am as a person. Oh, if I'm fortunate, I'll only be here until spring. Okay, so there's still, like, the possibility that she could just get dumped there for the rest of her life. Case in point, unless her father decides that a man from a Darlin might make me a good consort, and then I'll be here until that matter is settled, which means that, like, she's just gonna be there forever. And then Selena's like, would you marry Prince Dorian? You better say no. He's mine. It was prying and a bit impertinent. Oh my gosh. But Nehemiah's like, ew. Gross. He grinned at me far too much, and you should only see how he winked at the other women in the court. I want a husband to warm my bed and my bed alone. See, okay, this is a great friend for Selena to have. That way she's not like, you know, actually, let's be honest, she's gonna do whatever the heck she wants. She's probably gonna end up having, like, a harem. Is this a harem? Is this a harem book? I picked one of those up by accident once. Boy, howdy. That was weird. Oh, fuck. Oh, oops. Back in the saddle again. More chit-chat about the place and how it smells terrible. You know, okay, it smells terrible because you're standing next to Selena, who smells like a salmon. Apparently. You know, see, Nehemiah's the one, they're gonna be besties, and what a better way to inaugurate a new friendship than to tell this new girl that you just met that she smells like a salmon. It would be better received from a girl, right? Well, unless you're trying to be shitty, and you're just lying. But anyway. Aha! Aha! I said this! I knew it! Will you keep me company while I'm here, Lady Lillian? See? Besties. Very conveniently besties. Selena has the nerve to blink, despite feeling honored. Of course, when I'm available, I'll gladly attend you. This girl is really quickly gonna have way too many things to do and not enough time to do them all, when she should be spending most of the time eating, sleeping, doing push-ups, probably running, because, like, you can be in really good shape and still not be good at running and throw up every single time you do it. I have a feeling she might be one of those people. She probably needs to get it. No, she doesn't have time for besties. She only has time for protein and carbs and calories. So they part. Of course, they're giddy, as girls are when they are like, yay, a new bestie! Except that Selena, I forgot, she's one of those girls. She never had many friends, and the ones she had often disappointed her. What a horrible thing to say about people that you're, like, trying to be friends with, even if there aren't very many of them. What the heck? Sometimes with devastating consequences, as she'd learned that summer with the silent assassins of the Red Desert. Okay, lore? I don't have any backstory here. After that, she'd sworn never to trust girls again, especially girls with agendas and power of their own. Girls who would do anything to get what they wanted. Oh, so girls like you, Selena? Jeez. I think, as an assassin, you should probably just not be trusting anybody. Am I wrong? Why would you place your trust in anybody? You're an assassin. A notorious one. You should know better. You should know better than to blindly trust people you don't know. Everyone has an agenda. Even if that agenda is just themselves. Everyone has an agenda. What is with this guy watching her eat lunch? Is he just that fascinated by her shoveling meat and bread down her gullet? She's talking with her mouth full. And he's in there watching. I guess it's just because he wants to make fun of her some more. Like, oh, your manners are terrible. Like, okay, she did assassin schooling. She didn't do finishing school. You can only do, no, I guess you could do both. You could be an assassin with Kuth. There's no reason for you to be scooping things with your hands. Oh my gosh. No, girl, stop. I'm not even sitting next to her as she's eating, and I already want to smack her for talking and chewing and... Ugh. Someone signed this girl up for assassin finishing school. Ugh. Okay, she's being charming and stuffing her face, and he's frustrated, and I see. Okay, he's had some things happen, and he wants to be distracted by her terrible eating habits. I don't think it's working because he's still thinking about the king being an idiot and not taking any of the guards he suggested, and then refusing to say where he was going, which, like, bitch, he's the king. He doesn't answer to you. He answers to probably his mom, if she's alive. Oh, and some of the royal hounds got eaten. That's more worrisome. Okay. More witty banter about how I prefer a certain type of woman. Oh, and what's that? Not an arrogant assassin. Oh, gosh. Gee golly whiz. These guys just, oh man. It's like when you were in 8th grade and you liked somebody, but the only way you knew how to show it was by relentlessly teasing each other, and everyone around you is like, I can hear wedding bells, and you're like, ew, gross. She smells like salmon. Ew, gross. He watches me chew with my mouth open. But they're like charmingly endeared to one another because of those stupid traits. Yeah. And he's just staring at her as she chews. That's, yeah. And he's like, oh, you have food in your teeth. Gee, could you let the girl finish her food before you're like, hey, you have food in your teeth? Of course she has food in her teeth. She has food in her entire mouth. He can't stand her contradictions. Well, that makes 2 of us, brother. Despite her arrogance, she was clever and relatively kind and somewhat charming. Are we seeing the same person, Mr. Captain of the Guard? Are we seeing the same person? Because I don't think we're seeing the same person. Unless you find heathenous behavior somewhat charming. I have yet to see a single charming bone in this woman-child's body. And relatively kind. This guy's just making shit up. He's fallen upon hard times and he's just desperate. Yeah, okay. That explains it, right? That explains it. Cool. Okay, see, finally taking my advice, and it only took you, like, how many days have they been here now? For the next 4 days. Training, running. Good. About time. I still don't think it's gonna be enough, but, like, I guess if you give anything the Rocky Balboa montage treatment, that's like magic for someone's need to be prepared for physical activity, right? Because this kind of, like, you know, looks like a Rocky Balboa montage. Yeah, she loathes Kane, and this other guy worships him, and wow, I'm so surprised by that. I'm so surprised that the ugly guy that is mean and horrible, but also really physically capable, is, like, the nemesis. Wow, shocking. Spoiler alert. Selena's her own nemesis. She's got a lot of shit to work through before she's gonna be, like, primo capable assassin. Because I'm not.
I don't know the answer to that specific question, but according to Merriam-Webster.com, a person who kills another person, especially one who murders a politically important person either for pay or from loyalty to a cause.
Did I ask? Did I say the word Google? What is going on? So something's wrong the day before the test. She just knows it. It's because Kale didn't show up to watch her eat her breakfast messily. He didn't show up for anything. Good, finally. Take care of your own duties, dog. You're the captain of the guard. Why are you wasting your time watching this chick eat every morning, day in, day out? Isn't that something you should be delegating to, like, a grunt who's brand new? Like, is there a dude in your platoon named Jerry whose glasses are crooked and he's really overly eager and needs something to do, but he's not competent enough to do, like, meaningful work? Yeah, he'd be perfect for this, and then you can go do your job. Right? Okay. Someone bring in Jerry. One of the other handsome men comes over and is like, what's all this about? What's going on? Because there's weird stuff going on. A bunch of guards. There's more guards than usual. There probably should have been a lot of guards anyway from the get-go, because you have 24 vicious killers in one place that you really shouldn't be trusting. But what do I know? I'm not a guard of things, let alone killers of men. But anyway, Selena's like, Captain Westfall didn't train me this morning, which is code for he didn't come wake me up and feed me breakfast like he usually does. Yeah, and this kid Knox doesn't care. He doesn't respond to that at all. He just holds out his hand and introduces himself. Go off? Okay. And she's like, I know who you are. But she shakes his hand anyway, because any excuse to touch a handsome guy's anything is just right up her alley, you know? Gosh, I've felt a bit invisible with that hulking lout showing off these past few days. It's okay. There was a little bit of truth in what Selena said about Cain when she first saw him, that he, you know, not very nimble and maneuverable, and, you know, usually the ones who cause the biggest stir and are like, yeah, I'm a man, I'm good at things and muscles and stuff, and they're super like alpha bro, I mean, if this were a horror movie, I would want him to die first, just to prove a point. And then Nox can be the main character now. And now we're introduced to a new character that is named Varen. If someone's gonna be important, he should have been introduced. If he's a named character in this competition, he should have been introduced initially when Selena was the only girl in a grouping of men. Because these two know who this guy is. I don't know who this guy is. I guess I'm about to find out. Here it says, normally Varen could be found near Cain, taunting the other champions. Oh, okay, I see. So you have like the big bulky guy, and Varen sounds like he looks like a younger version of the guy from Ratatouille that made restaurants close because he review bombed them, or he reviewed them poorly. I wanted to say the word bomb, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be. Okay, here's another character. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick tangent here and complain about names in fantasy books. Actually, I'm not gonna complain. I'm just gonna say that I am a huge name stickler, and if I think a name sounds stupid, I automatically hate it. So the name Pelor, that sounds like the title of someone who runs those like Peloton classes, you know, the spin classes on those little bikey thingies. Yeah, a Pelor leads you through your Peloton course. Yeah, see, I ruined it. It's ruined. It was already an ugly name. I don't like it. Varen is cool. Pelor reminds me of insulting. It's like it sounds like a Spanish insult, like que pelor or something. Is that actually a word? Hey Google, what does pelor mean in English?
Sorry, I didn't understand, but I found something related. Do you want to know what is the meaning of Pelor?
No. Thank you.
Hey, future me coming in to remind past me that the word she's looking for is peor, which is Spanish for worse, which is still kind of an insult. Okay, bye!
Oh, okay.
Oh wow, she listened this time. The last time I said no, I got educated about ocular evisceration, so that's fun. Okay, so Pelor is the youngest assassin, and she's pretending to be mediocre, but this guy is actually bad. I don't know, I would like for you to show me that. Like, show me Pelor being a trooper and going and like sparring with Cain, even though he knows he's gonna get his butt trounced. Make him aware, make him self-aware, make him know that he's the youngest and least capable, and make him want to be better. Show me. Don't just tell me he needs the training. Give him the training then! That would be so much more interesting. See, and she insults him. She has no room to talk, by the way. Assassin indeed. His voice hasn't even deepened yet. How did he wind up here? Girl, you are in no position to be making fun of a really young assassin, considering you've been doing it since you were 8. You need to chill. See, Kayal thinks she's kind, and she's over here being a rude-ass bitch. I hope that her being a high-key, terrible person is just set up for character development. I really hope that's the case. No one spoil it. I'm just putting it out there. I hope that she stops being a rude-ass bitch in the future and is just a bitch when she has to be, instead of just like all the time. That would be ideal. So, Pelor finds out that the eye eater guy, you know, as his name suggests, the guy who eats the eyeballs of his victim. Yeah, Bill Chastain, the eye eater. That sounds like that should be a character in House of a Thousand Corpses. How do I know it's not? I don't think it is, but that does sound like a House of a Thousand Corpses vibe. Okay, so they found him dead. Sad, because I was actually kind of interested in him, seeing as he eats eyes and all, and he's dead. And it wasn't pretty, like someone ripped him wide open. Why did it have to be the eyeball guy? I liked him. I wanted to like him. I'm not being given the chance because someone turned his body into ribbons. It wasn't Selena. We know that because all she would do is think about turning his body into ribbons with her fork or something, but she wouldn't actually do it. I guess she kind of can't, really. Whatever. Yeah, so she is like rightfully shook by this. All she needs to do is later go back to her room and look in the mirror and say, I will not be afraid. That's her thing. she's good. So they start throwing daggers to practice, her and Nox, and she makes it work, but he's like bad at it, and she's happy about that. Even though there's a shredded corpse hanging out around here somewhere, she's like, heh heh, he can't throw knives. I'm better than him. And then she gets insulted by Varen, who's like, circus tricks ain't much use when you're the king's champion. How does anyone know what is of any use when you're the king's champion? Have they been the king's champion before? Yeah, I don't think so. He needs to shut his ratatouille lips. Oh, you'd be better off on your back learning tricks useful to a woman. Oh. Okay, we're taking the low-hanging fruits. Of course we are. We're a man. We're all men here with this one woman. Of course we're gonna make the obvious jokes. Why wouldn't we? We're not creative. We're assassins. We're creative in killing. We're not creative in insulting people. He can teach her some tonight if she'd like. She would, probably, actually, as long as she can have Kaol and or Dorian come with as well. You know, the more the merrier, honestly, for Selena. That's the vibe I'm getting here. Oh my gosh. Nox compliments her impressive aim after she doesn't stick a dagger in the target, and she's like, for a girl? Why is it about that? Y'all are all assassins, okay? Can you just have impressive aim because you trained a skill for a long time, even if you did, you know, just mess up your last throw? Why is it because you're a girl? And Nox is like, no, for anyone, because duh. And then she proceeds to give him some knife throwing tips. Bitch, why do you want to help your competition? Oh, I forgot. He's attractive, and the first time they locked eyes, he kind of smiled a little. Yeah, okay, I see it. Bend slightly at the knees, shoulders back, loosen your wrist, throw when you exhale. And she demonstrates for him. And he's like, show me again. Okay, he can't sound like that. I can't make him sound so silly. Well, you've just put me to shame, he says, probably fully realizing that that's exactly what Selena wants to hear, because she has to spend all this time staying in the middle of the pack and not being the boss-ass bitch that she was always meant to be as an assassin. Anytime Selena interacts with another character, it's just so... It's like every conversation is full of useless small talk. How does she know where she... Oh yeah, they did tell each other. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Oh yeah, okay. So we've just discovered that Nox is a simp. He finally hits the bullseye when he throws his knife, and then he's like, my gold's on you winning this whole damn thing. Simp! Someone come get their simp! Simp in the lost and found! Jeez. She likes that. She smiles a little. She's like, I know. Duh. And then she's like, let's hope you won't be eliminated at the test tomorrow. Like, it's not even remotely possible for her to be one of the ones getting eliminated on the first day. She is just a girl. Then she can spend more time with Varen learning girl tricks. So... I guess Selena really does like reading, but my issue with her being a bookworm is like, I'm the bookworm. I'm the one sitting here reading books, and okay, cool, I like that the main character is also appreciative of books, but I didn't come here to read a book about something I already do in real life. Here I am sitting here reading, and I'm reading about a girl who reads a lot. Granted, they don't actually ever show her reading, so I don't think she's actually doing it, even though Kaol says, don't you ever do anything other than read? Haven't seen her actually read, so jury's out on that one. Shouldn't you be looking into the Eye Eater's murder? He's like, that's none of your business. But she's right, because he's the captain of the guard. Isn't that, unless there are, like, you know, detectives hanging around somewhere, that's their, like, specific job. She has a point. And yet somehow he still finds his way into her room to watch her doing something or another. Like she needs a babysitter. He'd really come to talk about a book when a champion's corpse had been found that morning. I saw at lunch that you're reading The Wind and the Rain, and I forgot to ask what you thought. Someone make this guy captain of the library shelves, because clearly he doesn't do any captain of the guard stuff, I don't know, like, ever. So here we have a little bit of world building but it's just a bunch of us being told that that's the way things are, which, if that's your jam for world building, fine. It would be nice for it to be more artfully crafted into the story, instead of her and Kayal sitting here in a room talking about these places. For example, Kayal's family rules a place called Aniel. I know I'm saying it wrong because people spell stuff and then they make you say it differently from how it's spelled. I was right. Okay. Aniel. Aniel, you okay? Are you okay, Annie? The citizens of Aniel were warriors from birth and had been guardians against the hordes of the wild men from the White Fang Mountains for generations. Neither of these things mean anything to me at the moment. I hope they do in the future, but right now it's just pointless world building in a place where I don't need this information right now. Thankfully, things had gotten a little easier for the warriors in the past 10 years. The White Fang Mountain Men had been one of the first peoples to be put down by Adarlan's conquering armies, and they very rarely did the rebels make it to slavery. She heard tales of mountain men killing their... See, she just hears tales. So I'm hearing this third hand. She hears a tale, and I'm hearing it from her. Is this really important right now? I mean, if you want to talk about where Kayal is from, then let him tell you, instead of you tell me this stuff that... Okay, I'm just rambling now. I'm getting upset. Oh, but the thought of Kayal going up against hundreds of mountain men like Cain, made her a little sick. Aww. She's a little sick. She doesn't like the idea of him getting his butt kicked by a gang of Cains. That would be a great name for a band. Gang of Cains. That does have a ring to it. See, we could have just skipped that whole paragraph that I just read, because now he tells us a little bit about himself and where he's from, which makes more sense. This could have been him saying, since we were young, we were the only boys our age. When I was 13, my father moved my family back to our home in Aniel. Oh, the city on the Silver Lake? Forget about the rest of what comes after that. That whole paragraph was totally unnecessary. Yes, even the part about her feeling sick that a gang of Cains is gonna beat up Kayal. And then, yes, I was slotted in to join the Royal Council. Like my father, he wanted me to spend some time among my own people and learn whatever it is councilmen learn. Oh, wow, you're so dedicated to your job, bro. You're just on it. You're just on it like Blue Bonnet. See, this is better. So you ran away? She marveled that he was volunteering this much. Hadn't he refused to tell her almost anything about himself while traveling from Endovia? That's better than a big old paragraph about White Fang mountain men killing people. I don't care right now, unless it's part of the story later. So then he tries to ask her about her, and she's like, I thought you didn't want to know anything about me. Girl, he's been spending an inordinate amount of time with you. You are as dense as the book that you are reading. She called the book dense when he asked her what she thought of it. She was like, it's a bit dense. Well, so are you. Gosh. See, this is nice. They're having a little heart-to-heart about where they came from and their parents and stuff. This is fine. We finally get we're on page 112, and we finally get a little insight, a better insight on where Selena comes from and her story and such, instead of just getting little hints and glimpses of it as she contemplates violence and hates other women. Who? I can't even question this, because people do this kind of stuff. King Assassin, when she was 12, decided she wasn't nearly as skilled at swordplay with her left hand. So he has this brilliant idea for a 12-year-old. Brilliant. This is something that I will remember to utilize with my own children when I want them to be left-handed instead of right-handed at anything, whatever. He could break my right hand, or I could do it myself. That's the... Okay, unnecessary cruelty just for the sake of, shock value. You could just very easily do something else and not damage your hand. Do people understand how bad those kind of injuries can be long term? I know someone who jammed one of their fingers when they were a kid playing basketball, and that's no big deal, right? Not everyone, but people jam fingers all the time. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, it sucks, blah blah blah. He has arthritis so bad in his finger that the joint is swollen up to twice the size it's supposed to be. So yeah, I guess it's fine. She's 12. Her bones her bones are still kind of rubbery. It'll be fine, right? Why is that what we're stooping to? Break your hand. It's the only way. But I could just tie it behind my back. I could put my arm in my shirt. I could wear a sling. I could just practice doing everything with my left hand. Why do I have to break it? Why do I have to break my hand? And why are the two options you break it or I break it? That is ridiculous. Unnecessary cruelty of a child. I know it's a fantasy book, but like... Nope. So, long story short, TLDR, she breaks her own hand by slamming a door on it, split her hand wide open and broke 2 bones. Took months to heal, probably should still bother her. If I don't see mention of that in the future, you know, like that would be something that, I know she's only 18, but I think sometimes those kind of injuries stay with you. She should wake up on a morning when she has to train and her hand aches and she can't use it, so she has to be left-handed for the day. Are these the things that people think about when they write books, or were they just going for unnecessary shock value? I'm gonna go with the unnecessary shock value on this one, because she hasn't complained about her hand hurting her a single time. I don't think she's used her left hand a single time, so we'll see. That is not a car I would put an exhaust on, but you do you, buddy. Aw, so cute. She's nervous. It's the day of the test, and she's keeping close to Kayal. Aw, she's nervous. She's like, please don't leave me. I will not be afraid. See, she could just stare soulfully into Kayal's eyes and say, I will not be afraid. And he would probably blush. Okay, they're pulling a Michael Jackson and they're building anticipation. There's a curtain and there's something behind the curtain. Hi, buddy. So they're all milling about, wondering what's behind the curtain. Knox comes over and he's like, what do you think it is? And she's like, I don't know, because that's the point of the curtain. When they pull back the curtain, it is revealed to be an archery contest, where they have 5 targets and 5 shots, and the one with the worst aim goes home. Okay, so Selena gets to be Merida. They all queue up to take their turns, and Kayal's like, don't show off. And she's like, I'll try not to. Although her reaction to seeing the contest was... Oh, she laughed. Never mind. I was gonna say, if she was like, archery, that's like my worst subject in school. No, she laughed. She's like, baby town frolics. So, something that was not revealed right away about these targets is that they are smaller the further back they go. So there's a close target, and then they're like the AT&T service bars, and they go further back until the final target is nearly 70 yards away. Why can't it just be 70 yards away? Why's it gotta be nearly? Just make it 70 yards away. You don't have to say nearly. Making things harder for yourself. So Senor Pelor, the gangly assassin whose voice hasn't even dropped yet, wasn't strong enough to manage a longbow and barely made any shots. And when he finishes, his eyes are gleaming with resentment. Why? What is he resenting? Is he resenting himself right now? What is he resenting? What does this entail? And then he's like, I'm more skilled in poisons, when the weapon master's like, didn't anyone ever teach you how to use a bow, boy? And the weapon master's like, poisons? The king wants a champion, and you couldn't shoot a cow in a pasture. Well, he could if it was standing right next to the fence. Come on, give him some credit. I find this funny. This is a hilarious comment. Grave, the repulsive assassin, did fine, she supposed. 4 bullseyes and the final shot right on the border of the innermost ring. He did fine, I guess. What? And then Kane comes up, and he's got this black ring on. I don't remember if it was on his hand or on his arm, because I clearly didn't pay a whole lot of attention when the ring was first introduced to us being on his body. And, of course, he shoots 5 bullseyes, and everyone's like, oh, gee golly whiz, that guy's just so great. Oh my gosh, I want to be him when I grow up. And Kane lives rent-free in Selena's head as it gets closer to being her turn. This girl can focus on everything else but, like, the task at hand. Which I guess is in character for an 18-year-old young woman. You know, instead of being, like, in the zone, like, alright, I gotta hit at least 5 bullseyes. She's like, ew. He hit 5 bullseyes. I don't like that guy. He's awfully muscular, though. Maybe he deserves all of the praise he's getting from everyone. I mean, he did fire 5 perfect shots. Yeah. Kane, rent-free in her head, ever since she first saw him. That would make a great enemies to lover story, by the way. Like, we hate each other, and then we find out we're very, very similar, and then we fall in love, and that's the end. But no, that's not the story we're being given, okay? So, it's Celaena's turn. Suddenly, whoa, how did that happen? Whoa. She briefly thinks about how she'd done some archery practice a few days earlier, and she'd been excellent. According to who? Or as excellent as she could be without attracting attention. And she'd killed men from longer shots than the farthest target. Clean shots too, right through the throat. Okay, that's great. You're telling me about your escapades. I just don't believe you. Because all you do is blah, blah, blah. And I don't see a lot of shoot, 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 die, die, die. I don't see it yet. Should I, like, flip ahead in the book and see if I can, like, accidentally land on some actual violence taking place and not just someone dying off camera? Because, like, the only deaths that have happened have been off camera. I hope you realize that. Okay, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to upset myself. Okay. She adds a few words to her mantra. I am Celaena Sardothian, a Darlin's assassin. If these men knew who I was, they'd stop laughing. I am Celaena Sardothian. She has to remind us who she is. Or remind herself, because I guess maybe she forgets easily. I am going to win. I will not be afraid. You do that. You go, girl. Okay, 1 bullseye so far. Oh. She fires at the second target and aims for the edge of the innermost ring, which she hits with deadly precision. She could have made an entire circle of arrows if she'd wanted, and if she'd had enough ammunition. You could do it with 5 arrows, but that's not the point of this challenge. 1 arrow, 1 target. If you want the fast track, the fast pass back to prison, go ahead and make a circle of 5 arrows on 1 target. Show everyone what you can do, girl. And then they're gonna be laughing at you as you go right back to Minecraft land. 3rd target's a bullseye, aiming for the edge, but landing within the border. She did the same for the 4th target, but aimed for the opposite side of the bullseye. Where she aimed, the arrow met its mark. Alright, Merida. Calm yo titties. You're gonna get noticed. You're supposed to fly under the radar, girl. As she reached for her last arrow, she heard one of the competitors, a red-haired mercenary named Renault. Renault? I mean, it's French, so shouldn't it be Renault? And despite this red-headed fuck sniggering at her, she hits the center of the target, obliterating the black dot. They stopped laughing. Girl, you are supposed to be mediocre. Now they, if they weren't, like, low-key scoping you out before, now they are. Yeah, Kayal is scowling at you. Whoops. Oopsie. And the person who gets eliminated is a nobody. Shocking. Not Pelor. Not Senor Pelor. He didn't get eliminated. But that's because he has a name, and so he kind of has, like, a purpose. You know, he's got plot armor. And some of those unnamed dudes, no plot armor. That's what's going on here. But we knew that, even though his shoots were dookie. We knew he wasn't going to get eliminated. He's not done being here yet. He's probably going to die. I mean, he's like easy target for death, so nobody get attached to him anytime soon. Fast forward, and Celaena is running with Kayal in the game park. At this point, I kind of feel like you'd be getting the hang of this whole running thing. But no, she runs toward a hill, and her legs buckle at the side of the incline. I guess that's fair. It's not fun to run up an incline, regardless of the shape you're in. It's okay. Alright, I'm sorry. I'm being needlessly cruel to this poor girl. It might be because she's supposed to be the world's most killingest assassin, and I'm kind of holding her to that standard for the rest of this book. So we'll see if she ever lives up to that title. My hopes are not high. Okay, so this is 3 days after their first test, and 10 since she got to Rifthold. 10 days can be a mini eternity, let me tell you. Anytime I have to hold a plank position, it feels like it lasts for 10 days. That's what I'm going off of. Oh, she's still puking. Okay, I guess this girl just wasn't built to run. Insane, because I feel like sometimes an assassin's gotta run their ass off so they don't get caught. Can't lock up what you can't catch. You're innocent if they don't catch you. So she's puking, and he's giving her absolute crap for it, as he should, and she's like, perhaps I won't be so courteous next time, and I'll just vomit all over you instead. Please. Please. Please do. Anything to make your tenuous chemistry more interesting. Yes. Vomit all over him. Actually commit an act of violence against another person in this book. Please. Because, again, down below, she wanted to punch the smirk off his face. But she can't, because she takes a step and her knees shake, and she has to lean against the tree and throw up again. Girl, please. My girl. A punch is easy. You could punch. You don't even have to punch him in the face. You can punch him somewhere where no one's gonna see the bruise if you leave one. You know, like the back of the head, the thigh, the butt. I don't know what I'm saying. And so he gets an eye full of her scars, and she's like enjoying the view as she's, you know, sexily bent over, vomiting her guts up. And he's like, "Oh, poor baby, when did you get those?" He didn't say it like that. He probably should have, though. I feel like he wants to say it like that to her. "Oh, you poor thing." Like, unironically, not being sarcastic. He's like, "Oh my gosh, that's terrible." Interesting take. He asks her when she got those scars, and she's like,
"Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?"
"I got these 3 on my first day in Minecraft." Sorry, the prison is Endovier. Okay, yes. I don't know. I think it would be more fun to say it Endovier. See? Fancy. But okay, Endovier, the prison, Minecraft land. He asks her, "What did you do to deserve it?" And she's like, "Deserve it? No one deserves to be whipped like an animal," says the wanted, notorious criminal. "If you got captured and put in prison, presumably for committing a murder, I guess you're lucky you got off with..."
What's gonna happen to us?
We'll probably get 40 lashes.
Oh no!
21 lashes? Here she tries to make herself more relatable by saying, "That was before I had befriended any of the other slaves." Okay. And she's talking about her slave help that kept her from getting all infected and dead. Oh. What the? See? Oh. Okay. This kind of stuff, it literally is just for shock value, because she says, "Oh, this young woman slipped me a tin of salve while we were waiting in line for breakfast. I never got to thank her, and later that day, 4 overseers R-worded and K-worded her." Why? This book doesn't know what it's trying to be. This does not know what it's trying to be. That's it's a needlessly cruel detail. I understand that stuff would probably happen in a prison, but like, did they do that to her because of the tin of salve? So why didn't they just whip her too? And on the flip side, why didn't they just R-word and K-word Selena then, if that's just how they treat women in this prison? She pulls a "I spit on your grave" on behalf of this poor young woman, and stopped by the overseer section of the mines to repay them for what they did to her. They died too quickly. Okay, why didn't you make them die slowly? Aren't you an assassin? Can't you do that? Don't you know, like, the right things to do to make someone die a slow and painful death? If that's what you wanted to happen, make it happen. And don't complain later when you're like, "Oh, they died too quickly." Well, whose fault is that? Yours. Not you, the Selena. Not you. Oopsie. I really hope you're not R-wording and killing people, or getting revenge. My buddy. See, K-All brings up the good questions, and he's like, "But you were a woman. No one ever..." Okay, a little more tact. I guess now that we already know, we already hit the money shot, so what's the point in repeating it? "They were afraid of me to begin with, and after the day I almost touched the wall, none of them dared to come too close to me." Oh yeah, the thing where no one was ever able to get that far, and she got that far. This is just so silly. This is silliness! And then she's like, "Oh, maybe my king assassin father figure / torturer guy bribed the guards to keep me safe." Oh, okay, so they didn't leave you alone because they're afraid of you. They just made money leaving you alone, which is probably a lot more compelling than your fear factor, if I had to guess. So the next day, there's a tussle. One of the champions shoves a guard, and the guard's head hits the marble, and he's instantly unconscious. And everyone's like, oh! The guy tries to run away, and K-All finally does some Captain the Guard shit with his men, and they, like, capture the guy before he can... Oh, no, they don't capture him. They shoot an arrow through his throat. Oh, okay. Yeah, so they were like, yep, not today, buddy. You are not getting out of here alive.
No, I'm not a rebel. You can't do this.
Halt!
You're not gonna kill me.
Archers! Anyone else feel like running?
So, we're gonna pause for a second. One of the champions just committed a voluntary end of competition. I kind of feel like that was a planned move. He's like, I can't do this. I'm gonna shove someone and they're gonna kill me. Although, I mean, the guard that you shoved was only unconscious. So is it really fair to kill the guy? You gotta make an example of someone, I suppose. But we're gonna stop here and think. They're supposed to be having more trials that day, or another trial. Does that count as an elimination? Or does someone still have to get eliminated even though this douchebag got himself offed? Can I help you, sir? So they kill this guy, and that rattles Knox. He's like, they just killed him. And I have immunity from my sponsor, but they just killed him, which, you know, is his immunity really gonna help him if they just shoot him in the neck with an arrow? Better watch out, buddy. Are they just gonna leave the body there? They're just gonna, like, leave it there with all the blood and they're not gonna, like, clean it up? That's so heartless. They're just gonna leave the dead body, like, it's someone else's job. The one dude from Legend of Zelda comes out. Dampe, he's gonna come out and take the body. The more I read Dorian's perspective, what was I calling him? The gingerbread boy? Yeah, because his dad is Lord Farquaad. Okay, the more I read his perspective, the less I'm impressed with his princehood. His womanizing feels gratuitous. Like, oh, he's a prince, so he should be into women, right? And then he attempts to be competent at things, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. He's kind of a flimsy, wibbly-wobbly mess of a character. I don't like him. Clothing descriptions. And what's great about this one is it's from Dorian's perspective. So we're getting used to seeing that from Selena, but Dorian? Is everyone just obsessed with clothes? He's describing his mother's dress. I guess he's not describing it, but from his point of view, we get a good description of what his mother is wearing. And then the nobility struts across the floor, and an orchestra plays music, and it's all very... What word did I want to say? I was gonna say daft, but my brain said that's not the right word, so I didn't say it. Droll? No, I don't know. It's all very like... And Mozart comes out and makes everything more interesting, except he won't because this isn't his universe. So feeling like an ornament, Dorian's sitting there, also wearing an outfit. I feel like a good chunk of this book is just taken up with descriptions of what people are wearing. Okay, at least it's not taken up with descriptions of the lavish feasts that everyone is enjoying. Because there are some books where they're like, and this was the main course, and it had this dish, and this dish, and this kind of chutney, and this kind of spice, and this and that, and this and that, and you're like, you're making me hungry. I didn't come here to be hungry. I came here to read a book. Not about recipes. If I wanted food ideas and recipes, I would go on Pinterest or something. So he's sitting there, his mom says, you're sulking, and your brother sends his love, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah.
I don't say.
And when I'm dead, will you take care of your brother? Mom, you're not dead. You're only... And he doesn't say how old she is, because she's like, I know how old I am, which is why you must marry. And soon. Gosh, so much obsession with marrying. What is this obsession with? Oh, you gotta get married. You gotta get married. That is the only purpose that you serve in this story, is to eventually get married to someone. Him, the other princess. Selena's obsessed with marriage. Okay, maybe it's not that prevalent yet, but I'm really just seeing a lot of marrying in the future. Oh, see, they bring up the Princess Nehemia. Yeah, he's like, there are no princesses left for me to marry. And his mom's like, excuse me. There's an eligible princess in court right now. So, and, better get busy working that princely charm on her. Except I wouldn't force you to marry her. I'm surprised your father still allows her to bear the title. Why? What is everyone's problem with this girl? The impetuous, haughty girl. Do you know she refused to wear the dress I sent her? All because it was ugly, or it didn't fit her right, or it wasn't flattering. Not because she's trying to snub you. What? Everyone hates this girl for no reason, it seems like. Poor thing. No wonder her and Selena are gonna be besties. Dorian. I'm sure the princess has her reasons for not wearing the dress, and his mom's like, oh, well then I guess I'll have to make you marry her since you want to be an asshole about it and not take my side in the matter. And all he can do is smile weakly. Did I already call someone a simp? Yeah, I did. We go on and on about eligible bachelorettes. Literally, this family is straight out of Shrek, because his mom is the enchanted mirror. Oh, eligible bachelorette number 1. Eligible bachelorette number 2. And Lord Farquaad is standing there going, they're all pretty, can I have them all? Yeah, this is reminding me of that. Like, oh, what about this girl? She's beautiful. What about this girl? She's beautiful. Oh, what the heck is this comment? His mother says, this one's beautiful and can be quite playful. And Dorian thinks, as I've already learned. Ew! Dude. Okay. His womanizing was already heavily hinted at. I didn't want him to confirm it for me. No, ick. He's not even like, we're getting told that he's a womanizer and we see him like playing the part. I don't feel it. It feels fake. He's a fake womanizer and I don't buy it. No, this is not Casanova. This is Casanopa. He's already learned she can be quite playful, and then he says, she bores me. And his mom is like, oh, you're not gonna tell me that you want to get married for love. What a silly notion. That doesn't work in the royal court, and you know that. And he's like, but I'm bored. I'm bored not being in love. I want to be in love for real. Ugh, everyone is just always throwing themselves at my feet. I'm so bored with everyone just begging for me to get in their petticoats. Are they wearing petticoats? I assume. They're wearing dresses, so petticoats. Yeah. You're sulking again. I don't think he's stopped sulking. Your poor child. He's got freaking Lord Farquaad for a father and the enchanted hookup mirror for a mother. Goodness. Oh, there's a girl who broke his heart. No wonder he's such a man-ho. It's a coping mechanism. Before Dorian takes leave of his mother, she hands him a scroll, and he's like, what is this? Because it's got, you know, it's got a list of names on it of girls, right? And she's like, a list of potential brides. Duh. And he's like, on a serious note, I'm really wondering what the point of all of this Dorian womanizing content is. What is the point of this for the story? I guess I might find out, but I'm not. It just feels so insincere. His character and the way he motivates is just, it's like a wet paper bag. And so I can't see how a character with traits that are so flimsy, I don't see how that contributes to the plot in any way. Yet, this is only the first book in a series, and it is only the first book. And it is only still kind of the beginning, so hopefully we find out. That's what I will say. Hopefully we find out if Dorian becomes a better character and has a satisfying character arc. I will believe it when I see it, and not a moment sooner. So he walks around with this list of brides, burning a hole through his clothes and straight into his skin. What did his mom do? Put some like poison on the thing? Sheesh, dog. It's not that deep. It's also not that deep in your pocket, but it's really not that deep. And he's walking around and looking at doggies, and then he just happens to run across her. There she was. Her golden hair shone as she wove in and out of a knot of 3 guards, her sword little more than a steel extension of her hand. She didn't balk at the guards as she dodged and twirled around them. Someone began clapping to the left, and the 4 dueling figures stopped, panting. Dorian watched a grin spread across the assassin's face as she beheld the source. I don't know why this is being made into a mystery. Like, oh, who is this golden-haired woman that Dorian is staring at? Assassin? Female? Oh, easy. There's only one of those. The rest of them are fucking dudes. So, oh, yeah. And then, you know, the clapping comes from Princess Nehemia, who comes up like, oh, are we gonna get a little thingy thing here? Is there gonna be a little thing between Gingerbread Boy and the, hopefully, one cool woman in this book? So far, my favorite female character in the book. I hope she doesn't get ruined. So Dorian is freaking out because he's like, oh, what the heck is Selena doing here with the princess of Eelway? Like, what is this? Because the princess is clapping and going up and touching Selena on the shoulder, and they're being really friendly. And is he jealous? Is it jealousy? Or is he like, this is bad, they can't be besties, they would take over the entire world if they were besties. They would be an unstoppable force and an immovable object. One of them would be one and one would be the other. It doesn't really matter who. Yeah, Selena, aka Lillian, gets pulled aside for a little chatty poo. He pulls her aside and he demands to know where Kayal is, and instead of being like, I don't know, he's your friend too, shouldn't you know where he's at? She's like, is this any way to speak to your beloved champion? Ugh, as if. And he's like, where is he? And she's like, I don't know. And then he's like, why is the princess here? And she's like, she called on me, and Philippa told her I was here, and she came to see me because we're friends. And then this comment. Apparently, a woman can only go so long without a sword between her hands. Oh yeah? I'm sure that's not the only place you can only go so long without it being between. Does that make sense? You know what I mean, right? Yeah, this is a little too... Yeah, you know. Blah, blah, blah. Not sure what's going on. Not sure why the prince is upset here. Blah, 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 blah. Oh my gosh. Another sword comment. Okay. What on earth? What on earth is this? And why don't I remember any of this from the first time I read this book? Her turquoise eyes glittered as she stared at his hand, because he grabbed her arm, and his heart quickened when her gaze rose to his face. Yes, sweaty as she was beautiful. Hang on. 1 second. Aren't you afraid of me? She glanced at his sword belt. Or are you as deft at handling your sword as Captain Westfall? Girl, wouldn't you like to know? Both of them at the same time. You can handle it. You're an assassin. You're used to having to handle multiple swords at once. Right? What is this? And she's blushing and blinking. Okay, yeah, it's not even tongue-in-cheek at that point. And she's like, oh, well, very amusing, Your Highness. What is this? I guess we have two plots going on here. We have the, I am fighting to become the king's champion, aka hired killer. Hired slave. I can't say slave killer. No, because that's... Nope. So anyway, we're in a contest. We're the only female assassin in a group of men fighting for the chance to be forced to kill on His Majesty's Secret Service or whatever. And then you also have these weird sexual tension everywhere. What are these characters' priorities, might I ask? Because every time I'm like, oh, okay, they're doing this, and then it goes, pew! And I'm like, okay. Well, I guess, you know, people can have more than one priority, but it's just a little whiplashy. I'm kind of hoping they figure themselves out over the course of this tale. Oh, he's upset because the princess is using a sword with Selena. Okay, I see. The assassin is teaching the princess some moves. I see. So I do detect a hint of jealousy here. Yeah, you know, I guess maybe it's culturally unacceptable for princesses to be able to use a weapon. Lame, but whatever. Okay. He's like, because he can't speak the language, and the princess can't speak their language very well. So Selena is miraculously the only person who can translate for the princess, so she's, you know, low-key isolated her. Tell her it's unacceptable for her to spar, which Selena says something, doesn't necessarily mean she said the right thing. She could have been like, do you think he has a tiny dick? And the princess only waved a hand and strode past them. So, like, she didn't have to say, he doesn't want you to spar with me. She could have said, like, he has such a small dick. And the princess is like, yeah, of course, they all do. And then he's like, what did you say? She said, I said you volunteered to be her first partner. Oh, see, I told you, she did not translate correctly. Duh, hello. Well, you don't want to upset the princess. And he's like, I will not spar with the princess. And she's like, would you rather spar with me? And he's like, perhaps if we had a private lesson in your chambers tonight. Wow. I'll be waiting. But so will Kael, you know. It can't be just one of them. It has to be both of them at the same time. If this does not happen, Selena is just, I've had enough of her at that point. Okay. Another is now the time moment. Really, seriously, is now the time. She's watching the prince and the princess spar, and she's like, this is great. I like them. In fact, the crown prince is so attractive. I'm having trouble not thinking about how attractive he is. I wonder why he isn't married. I sort of want to kiss him. Can someone remind this girl that she's kind of there for a reason, and that reason is not to go around banging dudes? This is so ridiculous. Why even have the contest between the assassins if it's not even gonna be like the main focal point of anything? Because it's clearly not. The challenges are silly. I guess I could be thrown a curveball soon and the challenge is gonna be like, alright, you have to walk on your big toes across this molten lava without screaming and dying or something like that, and they're all gonna be like, what? None of us can do that. And then I would be like, okay, yeah, but you have to try or you all die anyway. So yeah, but it seems like this romantic stuff is gonna be more important in the long run. Did I know that about this series? I actually know very little about the Throne of Glass series. I know a wee bit more about the other series, the ACOTAR with the fairies and stuff. That one I know is just riddled with STDs. Okay, that's not fair. Don't say that. It's riddled with, yeah, we all know what it's riddled with. Selena swallows, thinking about when she'd been kissed before, of course, by Sam, who we have no idea who that is, by the way. I don't think he's been mentioned. Who is Sam? I feel like it would be more appropriate to say she'd been kissed before, of course, by the stable boy or her adoptive father's manservant or something. This is a very impersonal thought for us as readers. She knows who Sam is, but we don't know who that is except that he kissed her, okay? I don't care what his name is. It would make more sense if he were given some more background color. If he were a stable boy, if he were a squire, if he were a fellow student assassin or something, we'd be like, oh, okay, I can get behind that. That gives you something to go off of for their relationship without needing much. If she'd been kissed before by a stable boy, we can be like, oh, okay, she had a little escapee poo with an unworthy person or something like that. Do you know what I'm saying? But no. She got kissed by Sam, and often enough that she was no stranger to it, okay? Just because you got kissed often enough to not be a stranger to kissing doesn't mean you know anything about kissing. You kissed one person. What if he was bad at it? What if he continued to be bad at it after you'd already been kissing a ton of times? Does this make sense? This is a tangent. I should stop. I should just continue on. Oh, no, I don't want to continue on, because now she's still thinking about kissing Dorian, and the fact that if he kissed someone else... Oh, no. The thought of kissing anyone else once made her sick. When she saw Dorian, though... Oh my gosh. I smell a love triangle. To be fair, I smelled it like many pages ago, and not because I was like sniffing the pages of the book, but you know, I really don't know what I expected. I don't know why I'm surprised. I am very familiar with the vibe of this author's works. Part of the reason I'm here today roasting this ridiculous love triangle, because it is ridiculous. Can't wait to see what the rest of the series has in store for me. Yikes. Damn him for being so handsome. She leans against the wall and once again is, you know, focusing on the wrong thing when she should be focusing on important things like, oh, I have to practice and train and not die in this competition. No, it's, he's so handsome. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy in particular. I will later tonight. Oh, and who's surprised? No one. Kay-all shows up, so that's convenient. Now they can all just hold hands and skip back to Selena's room before they have a cozy night under the sheets. All three of them. No one cares that Dorian and the princess are sparring. We're not getting any descriptions of what they're doing. No, we're getting descriptions of, damn him for being so handsome. Okay. So both Dorian and Kay-all are like, these two ladies cannot be friends. This is dangerous. This is a bad idea. Selena's gonna be a bad influence on the princess. The princess is gonna turn into a hoodlum. But like, also, consider, boys, what if the princess is a good influence on Selena? Because the princess seems to have a good head on her shoulders. She's very aware that Dorian is a, what's a better term? What's a more sophisticated term for a man-ho? Can't think of one. He's a man-ho. She knows it. She's not stupid. Selena, on the other hand, she might be a world-class assassin, but she is not a world-class much else so far. So maybe they should hang out, so that Selena can be more clever. But no, classic boys are like, I'm jealous. I don't want them to spend time together. It looks bad, and you're gonna make the princess turn into a caveman and stuff. And like, We end this chapter on an outburst from Selena. She is throwing a temper tantrum to Kay-all because she hates being told what she can't do, and she hates him most of all, which is a clear code word for come to my room in 5 minutes, obviously. Let's see where that goes. We switch over now to that one lady, Caltaine. Am I saying this wrong? It's not Caltaine, is it? Because, you know, French. Okay, Caltaine Rompier. Okay, so we say her last name Rompier, like it's French, but Endovier is not Endovier. That might be a weird thing to nitpick, but you see the... Rompier does sound better than Rompier. Sounds like Frumpier or something, which she clearly is not, because we get a description of what she looks like now as well, including her clothing, in case you were wondering about that. She has raven black hair neatly coiled around her head, and her skin glows golden from the subtle shimmering powder she dusted on her face. The bindings on her pink and yellow gown crush her ribs. Beauty is pain, girl. I don't know what to tell you. You chose it. You deal with it. Pearls and diamonds around her neck strangled her, but she kept her chin high, poised. She is unbothered and living her best, beautiful life. So there we go. And she's like, oh dang, Dorian left. I didn't even get a chance to talk to him. Aw, shucky darn. This other person comes in. Who is this? Oh, the Duke. That one guy. Duke Perrier? Was his name Parrington? No, Perrier is the sparkling water. My bad. I guess these two have some kind of thing. It's been hinted at previously, and I don't know what that kind of thing is. But I'm pretty sure a pretty girl like her is not generally going to go after a sweating worm like Duke Perrier. Ooh, yellow smile. Yeah, see, what the heck's going on here? What is their agreement? Are we about to find out what their agreement is? She's not simply here to enjoy the pleasures of the court. That's a good thing, because I don't think Duke Perrier and his yellow smile are very pleasurable so far, but... She's tired of being a minor lady, waiting to be married off to the highest bidder, tired of petty politics and easily manipulated fools. She's kind of giving off, like, I want to be married to Dorian vibes, though. So that would be the highest bidder, arguably, if he wanted her, which would mean a life of petty politics and easily manipulated fools. So, like, what's the deal here? What's the deal, girl? Oh, okay, so I guess we are gonna find out what's going on here. Perrier's leading her toward his... Oh, darn. Her rooms. And she gets a little nervous, even though he hasn't pushed her into a bed yet. Okay, so it's not of that nature, but it might be heading that direction, if she's not careful. With a man like Parrington, who always got what he wanted, she didn't have much time to find a way to avoid owning up to the subtle promise she'd made him earlier that year. Okay, teasing us. Alright, what is this promise? I want to know. Guess I gotta keep reading. She tells the Duke that she met Lady Lillian, and the Duke's like, you met her? And Caltaine's like, oh yes, she's quite kind. The lie rolled off of her tongue. See, I told you, she's not. Kay-all is stupid. Oh, she's so kind. She's kind. And everyone's like, this girl's a bitch. Oh my gosh. Now they're talking about how Dorian might be possibly in love with the Lady Lillian. He very clearly is, but I don't understand why, because he hasn't spent that much time with her. Ever since they got back to the castle, they have not seen each other. They both know that. The only communication they've had is via little notes with stacks of books attached to them for her to read from his personal collection, which is a love language in and of itself, but still, like, you haven't spent any face-to-face time together or talked about anything important. You don't know one another, and you're in love with the girl guy. They're children. It's fine. It's just silliness, and they're talking about that. It's because Kaltain's a jealous bitch. For someone who was tired of petty politics and easily manipulated fools, she sure is playing the game. Gross. He dragged a hand down her side and was like, perhaps I'll see you tonight? And she's like, ugh. Rightfully so. He's a sweaty worm, apparently, so she had to find out who her competition was. She already knows. It's Lillian, and she's the one who's making it into a competition. Lady Lillian is oblivious and does not care. This is just everyone talking about their feelings for Selena behind her back. You seemed rather friendly with Sardothian, Kael said, his voice cold. Jealous, are we? Dorian teased. Now, see, like, guys, this is... you can share. It's fine. She clearly is wanting to have you both with her in her bed. So... what are you waiting for? Why are we sitting here squabbling about who likes her more and who's jealous, and just go like her the same amount with her in front of you or some other position near you. Dorian's trying to be Kael's friend here with this advice, and he says, I'm more concerned for your safety. She might be pretty and might impress you with her cleverness. Hold up now, that's a little bit too far. But she's still an assassin. Dorian. Oh wait, Kael saying this to Dorian. My bad. I got them mixed up. They look kind of the same in my head at this point. You sound like my father. It's common sense. Stay away from her, champion or no. Don't give me orders. I'm only doing it for your safety. Yeah, okay, best friend. Whatever you say. After some more arguing, they changed the topic to the dead eye-eater guy. I am still salty that he's the one that died and not someone less interesting, but here we are. At least they still keep bringing him up, and I can still, like, remember that he existed at one point. The body was totally destroyed. Dorian's response, I bet it was just a drunken brawl. A drunken brawl that resulted in a man being shredded to ribbons? That's a little bit more than a drunken brawl, buddy. I don't know how many drunken brawls you've been in, but generally they are very different from straight up murder. Okay, I think I've had about enough of this for the afternoon. I don't know about you. If you're enjoying this content, please stick around for the next video and consider liking and subscribing. It would help me out a lot. And you'll get notified when the next video in this installment comes out, and whenever future installments with new books come out as well.